Many people who have not studied business have a hard time understanding certain business terms. Since the economic crisis of 2008, we've heard of many terms such as mortgage-backed securities, securitization, or collateralized mortgage obligations. But do you really have any idea what these terms mean? Well, today I'm going to explain to you exactly what they are and how they helped in causing the economic recession of 2008. First, securitization is basically the financial pooling of various types of contractual debt, such as mortgages, residential or commercial, car loans, or even credit card obligations, and selling these debts as bonds or collateralized mortgage obligations, or CMOs. First type is the most simple type, is a securitized bond, which I will visually depict using marbles in a bag. First, basically, a bond pools or gathers individual mortgages represented by these marbles into an irrevocable trust. They then sell the claims to these individual cash payments to different investors in the form of bonds. Now, the interest and principal payments expected by these investors is dependent on the cash flows of the underlying assets, which in this case would be each individual mortgage payment. Now, a more advanced type of securitization would be the collateralized mortgage obligation, or CMO. Now, CMO is divided into different tranches. Tranche 1 has the lowest risk and lowest return, which also would have the highest credit rating. And all the way at the end would be Tranche Z, which has the lowest credit rating and known as the junior class, and it would have more risk and a higher return. Now, each tranche basically represents different repayment times. So Tranche 1 would be basically a 1 to 5 year bond, Tranche 2 would be a 5 to 10 year bond, and Tranche 3 would be a 10 to 15 year bond, and then Tranche Z gets the residual, or the leftover, whatever is left, and would be sold at a discount. Also, what helped in causing the economic recession was these tranches were also divided into different tranches. So Tranche 1 could be divided into 4 different tranches. Tranche 2 could be divided into 4 different tranches. And the first tranche of all those would have higher credit ratings, which they obviously did not as it went on. Now, the reason why I'm explaining this to you is that securitization had a big stake in causing the economic crisis that we felt in 2008. The problem was that banks were lending to people who could not repay their loans. But they were giving out so many so that they could sell them off, resulting in less risk for the bank and higher return for them. Basically, securitization is not to blame. It is the unethical lending practices of these banks that should be blamed and regulated, so another economic recession of this magnitude will not happen. Now, I've talked to you about securitization and the 2 different types of securitization: securitized bond, or mortgage-backed security, or collateralized mortgage obligation. Hopefully now, whenever you watch CNBC, you will know what exactly they're talking about. Thank you.